Hey, I'm here with George at LupineNorthAmerica.com. I'm Gretna Bill. Josh is Josh. So we're going to install a Lupine SLSF for Bros lights today. That's the box that comes in. Everything you need is in there, mostly. So what we have here is a, what is it, a 2022 Specialized Levo?
It might be a 23.
Might be a 23 carbon fiber. And what we did was we took off the crank arm, and then we took off the cover to the motor. And that's what we've done so far, right, George? And of course the wheels are off.
We exposed the light ports. There's a front light port that's labeled in green.
Paul Williams' bike, Specialized Levo, and we're going to go through the installation. We're going to show it to you today. Shout out to JB's Bike Shop, who got him this nice Specialized carbon fiber Levo with a Bros Mag S motor in it, right?
Correct.
Okay, so we took off the crank arm and we slid the battery out of this long tube. This is where the battery goes. And then we exposed this motor. And as you can see in there, there is 2 ports. Okay, one has a dummy plug in it. That's that one right there. See that? That's the dummy plug. And that's for the rear tail light. We're not putting that on today. And then the other plug is for a Bros. And you can tell because all of our lights are specific to either Bros, Shimano, Bosch, or Yamaha. And you can see that that's a specific plug. And it's got this little green circle on it. This little green O-ring. And so that fits into that port. So we pulled out the plug, the dummy plug, and then we inserted the Lupine cable with the Bros connector mounted on the end. And then what we did was, the hard part was, we ran it over and behind and up and around. And we did that by using, as you can see, shifter cables or brake cables. This is a shifter cable. And so we just taped it up with electrical tape, and we fished. And we fished it up and around through that cavity where some of these other cables go, back out, and around the motor and down out to here. And there it is. So now what we're going to do is complete the fish. And we're going to...
With a second cable. It went in through the top tube, and then we will pull this long cable that's now connected to the motor, and we will pull that up and through, and eventually we will plug into the light, which has this really nice waterproof connector here.
And we've also mounted it with a quick release 35 mil for the bars right on the handlebars,
which is an extra purchase, a different purchase.
But at any rate, let me also mention that when you look at the top tubes, there's spacers on there, and this is a Lupine GoPro spacer mount. So we could, if not mounting on the handlebars, and this is a quick release, you can also get them fixed. You can take one of the spacers out, mount that in there, and then mount the GoPro adapter to the front of the spacer, and then the light, instead of being mounted to this fixture, would mount to the GoPro, and it would come more permanently and kind of integrated better when it's coming right off the top tube, so the light would be right there. So we've spliced the brake cable onto the Lupine cable because we've gone from the port up and around the motor and down into the battery compartment. And we're going to now pull it through up to the front of the bike. Now George is taping it together. He's taping the brake cable to the Lupine cable. Again, this is the battery compartment without the battery in there, obviously. Nice, George, nice. That was clutch. He's got electric shifting, right? So that there's where there would have been a derailleur cable, right? Now there's going to be a Lupine cable. Since he's got SRAM electric shifting, there's no cables required. It's Bluetooth.
And that's making this a nice install.
So that'll make it a pro install. You won't have anybody hanging out anywhere. No wires.
No grommets being removed. It's a real nice piece here that comes from the factory. We'll be able to keep the factory piece in place. And that would be this is the top cover,
yeah.
But there's another piece in here that it's going to be able to snap back on because he did go to electronic shifting. And with that being said, we'd have to
have to go through there,
scoot this guy through here, which is so nice because this now has a waterproof plug, as all of our Lupine lights have always offered. Back in the day with the charging.
So that's a Lupine proprietary waterproof plug. Boom. So you can disconnect your light and take it off.
And it has a square end and a round end. Here's the square end. A little hard to see tonight, I'm sure. But you are able to line up the arrows as well. And
Boom.
That would now give you the correct.
So what we're trying to do here is route the cable up to the top with the other cable so the battery will slip in there unencumbered in that compart space.
Put some light in there for me.
See how it's out of the way along with the other cables. So the battery, so you should be able to get the battery back in there without binding it up. Let me show you the battery. That's the battery that's going to go in that tube.
See what happens if you slip it in there.
Yeah. Bingo.
Perfect.
Okay, this is the 35 millimeter quick release. We attached it to the light, and you can see the Lupine wolf head indicating it's the right setup. There we go.
Okay. We'll use a pair of pliers on those. And then this one here, you go, of course, red.
Nice.
Okay. See the grease slipping out there?
Yeah. Wow. Cool.
See the grease moving?
Dielectric.
Then you have your noise protector.
Yep.
Carbon fiber likes to ping-a-ding-a-ding.
For in there. Uh-oh.
So we are still waiting for it to get dark this evening in Pennsylvania.
So this SL, which is the SL-SF, and we have 3 models of this. We have the SL Nano, which is obviously smaller, and the SL-SF, which this is. Specifically, and then we have the SL-SX, which is a bigger lamp. All the lamps are made with four specific plugs that fit into the motor. So you've got to get the right plug. And we make them for Bros motors, Shimano motors, Bosch motors, and Yamaha, not so much, but we make them for that. And so all the lights have the same characteristics. First, and most importantly, is daytime running light, which you see on the side. Okay, and that's actually a daytime running light. And that's 24/7, that's SIPS power. And then what happens is there's a light sensor on board. And so the minute the ambient light becomes low enough that it's basically nighttime, the low beam comes on automatically. You don't have to do shit. And then up here is the control for the high. So you've got high and low beam, and it's all automatic. The whole thing runs all day long. You turn it on, and it's just a great light. The other nice thing is you can see illustrated by this hood up top is that all these lights have a distinct cutoff. And if you would see it on a wall, there would be a strict line. And so what they're trying to accomplish is that they don't want to blind oncoming traffic. And so that's kind of a European road standard, and it's kind of our standard. But like a car headlight, the light does not go up into people's eyes that are coming in the other direction, whether it be vehicles, commuters, hikers, walkers, whatever the case may be, other cyclists. So there you have it, man. That's
and that
everything.
model, it is available with its own proprietary battery on your gravel bike. This is not just an e-bike headlamp.
Right. So all three of the lights that I mentioned, the Nano, the Nano is the small one. This is the SLSF in the middle, and then the SLXX at the top. All of them also come available with a battery that you put on your top tube, attached to your top tube with Velcro straps, or in some of the new gravel bikes and stuff, you have the water bottle bosses up there and it'll clip right onto that. So you can get this same light for your gravel bike or your road bike. And then all of these lights come with GoPro adapters, so you can put them underneath your computer or your GPS device, or they also all come with a top tube spacer, so you can put the top tube spacer on your steer tube and attach the light with a GoPro mount to there. So you can drop it down with a GoPro mount from underneath your computer, or you can extend it out from the top tube, steer tube, with a GoPro mount and a steer tube spacer that'll fit right in there. So yeah, it's everything you'll ever need. And yeah, so check us out online as usual, lupinenorthamerica.com. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hope this helps. Long live long rides.